fans, I'm Scott. This is Scott's House of HO Racing. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, please do the LSS, as I call it below, the like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that. If you are a current subscriber, thank you again for stopping by and taking some of your time out to check out one of the newest videos. First, I want to apologize to all my current subscribers for not putting out any new content for a while. Regrettably, life sometimes throws you roadblocks that you completely did not expect or plan for. The beauty of life, the unexpected. Irregardless, had some family issues. My dad was playing hide and seek with the Grim Reaper. Glad to say that so far he's avoided being tagged, and he's finally out of the hospital. So I want to, on that note, I do want to wish a sincere thank you, or actually say sincerely thank you to everybody that reached out to me while I was off, asking what was going on, making sure that I was still going to make videos and encouraging me to do so if they thought that that was the reason why I was quitting or stopping the videos because of the lack of new content. And actually, it was just because I'm old school. I'm a firm believer in family first. So whenever the time came, I needed to be there for my mom and my dad and to take care of family. So without further ado, the last time I left, we were on the giveaway video, giving away the free car for the free Viper. And then I stated that I was going to give a track update video. And then that's when life came knocking on the door and said, "Whoa, Scott, I've got some different plans for you." And so basically at that point in time, everything as far as anything that didn't have to do with work or helping take care of my parents' farm or, going to the hospital, was pushed off to the side. So basically, it's almost like a time warp for me because everything in here stopped and it's right where I left it. I'm going to show some pictures that I've taken of some progress that I had for that video over a month ago set up. And then I can actually show you some stuff in here on the room on the track on some of the progress that got made before, like I said, life intervened and I had to put the stock car racing on pause. So one of the things on my channel that I'd mentioned at the very beginning was I'd give some tips and tricks on some stuff that I'd learned, or maybe share some ideas if you wanted to try to do some of the track mounting and stuff like that I've done. So tonight I'm going to start with my track tip. As many of you on the opening video, I'd done the outline with the cardboard that I'd mentioned as one of my tips, and then I showed a picture of it at the beginning of this video laid out on the board, and then I've actually cut it out, and then as you can see behind me here, it actually has been inlaid, and it's not permanently attached yet, and then it's actually had the ready grass put on it. And if any of you are interested, I do highly recommend the ready grass for the realism, the look anyway. Like I said, they come in different shades, and I bought mine in rolls, like so, like that. And I bought 3 of these bad boys just to make sure that if I made a mistake that I didn't have to reorder and wait for it to come in, I could just go ahead and start back up. And it's a good thing I did, because I learned some stuff along the way that I'm going to share and save you some of the headaches that I had when I was applying the said ready mat per instructions to my wood. So this one is, like I said, the spring grass. And if anybody's interested, I can let you know the part numbers. But anyway, it's Woodland Scenics. And if you just go to their vinyl mat grass and look at their different shades, then this one, like I said, is spring grass. And like I said, I highly recommend it for the realism. I mean, as you can tell behind me on the table, I mean, it blends good with the contrast with the color of the track and looks real. So as far as attaching it goes, one of the things I did learn, because they do recommend in the instructions to apply it to be able to have it adhere, to make it stick, is you've got to paint it with an acrylic paint. And I didn't have a clue on how much paint to get. So the first thing I did is I bought one of these a couple of these little tester bottles right here, like $4 a bottle at Menards. Quite pricey, to say the least. I went through both of these with, there's very little left in either way. That's why I've got them turned upside down, just so I can milk every last bit out of them, since they were, cost me $8 for 2 little bottles. Which brings me to the better value, and that is Walmart. I went with the acrylic black, and it's the apple barrel matte black. And you can go with any color you want. I've seen people use like a sandstone color to make it look like the grass had been worn away if the cars ran off the road or whatever. I decided to go with the black because what I was going to do with the fill in the seams, like I mentioned, with the silicone, but I changed on that too, and I can show you what I ended up going with, and where I'll actually have a reveal on the piece that I've got right here. I'll readjust the camera. But long story short, I was going to use that along the sides to make it look like the asphalt had been, the edges of it, where the maybe some of the borders were going to be around the edges of the track. So that's why I went with black, but you can use whatever color you want, but you do have to paint it with an acrylic-based paint in order for the matte adhesive to have something to stick to besides the wood. So they say in the instructions. And then you can use brushes. I used foam brushes instead of like normal bristle brushes. I got both of these bottles at Walmart, 2 of them, for $4 versus 1 of these at Menards for $4. I seriously doubt I use a whole bottle, but once again, I went through these so quick because the wood just soaked it up. I didn't want to have to, screw things up because, every time you screw it up, it just costs you money to replace it. And just like everybody else, I'm working on a budget. So anyway, I highly recommend going with the Walmart and getting the color that you want. I use the foam because these things are less than $1, and you can use them, toss them, and you don't have to worry about trying to clean them and save them. And just cheap and easy to use and cover a lot of area at one time. So there's my tip. My little tip on the construction is dodge the testers, matte black, unless you're just really into paying overpriced for the same product, basically. And then I purchased, when I originally bought the Ready Grass from Woodland Scenics, I bought their Ready Grass matte adhesive. And here's another suggestion. Dodge this stuff like the plague. I'm just telling you straight up. The only thing that kept me from throwing this in the trash out of pure frustration and lack of the product working was the fact that I wanted to show everybody exactly what it is and warn you not to buy it or waste your money. This is my personal experience. I'm not saying that everybody that's purchased this stuff has the same experience I have, or obviously they wouldn't be still selling it, because obviously somebody got it to work. I personally did not. For 3 days I tried to get this stuff to dry, and it would not dry per their instructions. So on the 4th day I finally said, Uncle, pulled up parts of the grass off of the wood, because some of it did dry and some of it didn't, and that's what the problem was, is it was leaving bubbles, because the mat would try to raise up on the parts that wasn't stuck. And if you've ever had wallpaper, or just a wallpaper look, and you see a bubble on it, well, that's what it was trying to do. And with this vinyl stuff, you really just can't pop a bubble, because it's really not a bubble, it's a firmer. So yeah, long story short, don't waste your money on this. What I found was the Gorilla Glue, if I can spit it out, and this is the one that attaches to wood, and it attaches anything to wood. And here, I'll bring this up here if you're interested. And this cost like $9 or $10 for this bottle. But once again, I don't know that I'm going to use this much, but better to have too much than not enough and have to go back, in my opinion, especially with gas prices going the way they are. A trip to the store can end up costing more than what you're going to go get. Anyway, so Woodland Scenics matte adhesive, thumbs down. No. Gorilla Glue, all-purpose wood adhesive, yes, that's what I used. And as you can see, I actually got to stick, lay down flat without any bubbles. And I'll reposition the camera so you can see that a little better too. One of the other things that I had done in anticipation of this already being set up like this was I went and ordered on Viper. They have their barriers so that when you crash on flat corners so you don't go flying off the table. Well, these are also going to be used along the edges of the table where it's not as tall as the background. As you can see there, the lip of the back of the table there. Well, I purposely, that's a 1x12, and the ones on that are lower that go right here that are in some of the pictures that I'll show at the end of the video as I mocked them up are a 1x8. And so that left a 4-inch difference, and so that's why these will be here as clear, so you can still see through them, but they'll still stop the cars from flying out off the track. And just add a little flair to those bad boys. On the ones that aren't going to be seen on both sides, then I've got the original Aurora type little borders that you can use to stick on, and I'll just stick those on the back side so that you can see through those. But then I also was able to go through Horizon Hobbies and or LS, Horizon Hobbies contracted these, and they did these versions of theirs that has their the hobby shop and the name of the company incorporated and stuff like that on there. These were actually included in their one of their sets, and for the life of me I can't remember the name of it right offhand, but irregardless, you'll see that they're two-sided versus the Aurora being one-sided. So the ones that are going to go on the track on this corner over here that you'll be able to see from both sides will have these on them. That way, no matter which way you're looking at, you've got that going through there. So like I said, just one of those little detail things that I'm trying to add to help spruce up the track. And then, like I said, rewind again, going back to what I mentioned that I was going to advise on whenever I actually got to the point of trying to fill in the seams. And my idea was originally is to use silicone. Well, I tried the silicone, and when it dried out a lighter shade of black. Let's just put it that way. And it was really noticeable. So I got rid of that. And then I tried the automotive guy in me, went into old school, and I went and got me some Permatex Ultra Black. And then I tried that over there on the other side. And once again, once it cured, it's just an off shade of black. And I can paint over that with a Sharpie and make it match up with the track really good. I've already tried it in a couple of spots where I did put it on the track as a test spot. But all in all, I decided that going around the whole track in between seams was going to be a little time consuming with the Sharpie, and why not just do it right the first time. So that's what brought me to this, which is what I did here. And this is, like I said, I'm going to peel this off live, or, on the video, so you can actually see what I've done. So I bordered each side of the seam with painter's tape. And then I ended up going with black caulk. Yeah, the same stuff that you would use, caulking like you'd use in the bathroom or anything to seal. And you can get colors, and I got black. And the nice thing about that stuff is that once it dries, as you can see, other than the green and then where I smeared with the finger, it looks pretty seamless. So let's go ahead and pull some of this off so you can see how I did it and how it turned out. I'll pull one over here, and then I'll move the camera so we can get a closer look at it. But I can tell you right now, just from looking, I can tell it's there, but it's the closest to the color of the track that I have found that's blending. And honestly, I'm not out to win any contest on my track as far as, you know, a realistic plastic track of the year. I'm just doing this for my own personal, trying to do what I can to make it look as real as possible. And you can see why I use the painter's tape, because once you get done smearing it, where's it at? You can, right there. You can kind of see the line. But it's not bad. Not bad at all. I'll peel this off a little bit, and then I'll move the camera closer so you can get a closer look at it. There we go. Yeah, I'm telling you. If someone wants to nitpick on it, I'm sure that you could go to anybody's track and nitpick it to death. But for what I'm trying to accomplish, which was get rid of the gap in between the corners or any straightaways where the plastic from the when it was manufactured doesn't line up perfectly on a 4-lane track. I don't care what they do. It's plastic and it's mass produced, so there's no way it's ever going to be always perfectly lined up. So here, let me move out of the way and I'll move the camera closer. You guys can kind of get an idea of what I was talking about. You ask me, it turned out pretty good. Not too shabby. Like I said, good enough for what I'm trying to do. Sorry about all the wiggling and the jiggling, but there's my tip for that. So what I've got left to do with this is cut out the wood so that this can be flush, and then apply the green mat to it, and obviously finish going around the rest of the track and filling in the gaps. Now that I know that, you know, that's gonna work for what I want it to do. It doesn't have to be, like I said, completely perfect, but I don't know how well it's showing or not showing on the video, but it is pretty close to matching, and good enough for me. You know, it's a good 10-footer. That brings me to the next point here, which was the reason why I got to this point right here, besides doing the border wood on the sides. You know, that came, I had to, you know, prep it, stain it, and then you know, sand it, stain it, and get it all, and then sealed urethane, and then got it mocked up in here. Got all that wood cut, got the grass put on, you know, got it painted, got it put on. It's just really time consuming, obviously. That obviously, what I've done doesn't take a month and a half. Obviously, the family stuff stopped everything. But here's the kicker. As many people have probably heard across the nation, landlords have decided that since the housing market's so crazy, that they're going to start raising rent per their lease agreement after 6 months. I've lived in my current location, rented here for, this is my 10th year. And then on my 6-month anniversary, I got a notice from my landlord stating that they were going to raise my rent $170 for the next 6 months on top of the normal what they had raised it the previous 6 months whenever I had to re-sign my lease. So rather than pay their exorbitant amount for the small place that I currently have, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm actually in the process of packing this up. I'm relocating. So as far as track assembly goes, I've actually hit a point where I'm going to go in reverse. I'm actually going to be disassembling because the whole this track was made to come apart, or the table was, and so whatever's not attached is coming off and getting packed up, and then I'll reassemble it at the new location. What's crazy and hard to think of is I've been working this week alone, or the last 2 days, trying to get some of the cars and the cases bubble wrapped, because there's no way I wanted to leave them in the cases and move them just because of the jostling around. And as any of you know that have had any of the older Aurora blue body molded colored cars, they're so brittle they break if you look at them wrong. Yeah, so I have literally started bubble wrapping cases of cars. What's even crazier is I did not realize it, but since I had filmed the the little tour around the room, and we had the contest. Obviously I'd been buying cars that whole time, and I buy and sell and trade cars. And in case you're not aware, I have my little own small business, Scott's House of HO Racing, and that's how basically half of this collection is what you see, or saw before in the previous videos. What came about was if I see a good deal on a car that I can make $5 on, then I buy it, and then I turn around and flip it for that $5 profit. And then if I do that on 20 cars, then lo and behold, Scott's made $100. And then honestly, I don't turn around and use that money to stick in my pocket. I turn right around and buy cars for the collection. And then if I see another version of a car that may be in better condition than my car, then I sell the one that I had, and then keep the one that I upgraded with. So I'm constantly improving my collection, and using, basically buying and selling to get where I want. So about half of this is my money, half of it's money that I've made just by flipping slot cars. Which brings me to the last part of the show here, and that is, since I am moving and I am having to pack all this stuff, and rather than do the few little cars that I do on eBay and having them sit there forever, and the eBay fees have just gotten so absorbent, it literally cost me 19% on whatever I sell, right off the top. And so obviously if you're only trying to make $5, that really kills you as far as what you can ask for a car, because then it puts it out of the price range of what they're going for. And the whole idea is to sell them, not have them sit there. So rather than having to inflate the cost to absorb some of the fees so that I can make my $5, I've decided that I'm going to start a little segment. In fact, I've already started filming it and taking pictures for it, and it's going to call Buy It Before Evil Day. Just my little thing. And basically what it's going to be is, it's coming out tomorrow night. I'm going to put out 5 cars that I'm going to sell that will either be loose or brand new in the package, or new old stock, out of the package, out of the plastic, but still brand new and ran on the track. And then I'll give us some history on them, basically what chassis they are, what bodies they are, if I know anything else about the cars, history-wise, what years they were produced and stuff like that. I will give you a collector's value on them, ranking. A collector's, if they are used, what they would rank at as far as a scale from 1 to 10 is how they go for selling, and what you could expect if you were to try to sell it if you did buy it again just immediately from me. And so how that'll work is I'll list the 5 cars, give a little brief description. I'll show them for 2 minutes each. That's 10 minutes. And then at the end of the video, I'll do another 2 minutes of just still shots of each car. And so each video will be approximately 20 to 25 minutes long. And if you are interested in the cars, then you simply just have to email me. And it's real simple. It's in the description. It'll be on the description of the channel. You can Google me, Scott's House of HO Racing. Pretty simple, just like the name of the channel. and my email is just as easy. It's scottdanielmo@gmail.com. And that's how they'll be sold. Basically, I will charge exactly what it costs me to ship it to you. So how it works is, and how I work through my business, outside of eBay is I use PayPal exclusively, and, unless you're local, and then I do cash, obviously. But if you're outside the area, I ship anywhere in the world. You know, if you want to pay the shipping, I'm more than willing to pack it and head it, you know, ship it your way. But you tell me what car you want. I put it in a box, I weigh it, and then I tell you how much it's going to cost you total to get to your house. If you say, yes, I want it, then I send you an invoice on PayPal stating this is what you're purchasing, and that way you're covered under PayPal security. And if for any reason you get the car and you don't like it, ship it back. I have no qualms. You're going to see exactly what you're buying, but sometimes people get stuff or they buy stuff on a whim and they get buyer's remorse. Hey, I get that. And I'm not going to hold a gun to anybody's head and say, hey, you bought it, it's yours. You know, if you want to ship it back, fine. You know, it's not going to be on my dime. It'll be on yours. But if you don't want it, I'll refund your money for the purchase price of the car. And, you know, we're all good once I get it back. But that's how that'll work. And it'll be on a first come, first served basis. And if any of those cars sell per video that I do, I'll leave it in the description of each of the cars, and I will mark sold if it's been sold previously. And so that's how that'll work. Tomorrow night, that video is going to drop. Buy it before Evil Bay. And the first 5 cars I'm going to do are all 5 going to be Tyco. And then I'm going to do another video in a couple of days. And then those 5 cars are going to be Auto World. And then I don't know, the next couple of days, every 2 days, I'm going to keep doing this until I run out of my inventory, because I am moving at the end of this month. And I would rather sell them to people than pack them up and move them because I've got enough to worry about trying to pack and move right now anyway. So I'll get a greater detail onto that on that video. But like I said, that video is for sure coming out tomorrow night, because like I said, I do want to get rid of some of these cars that I've been looking to sell more quickly than would be just if I was just sprinkling them out throughout the year on eBay, just to try to make money to buy other cars that I was interested in, racing or putting on the wall. So without further ado, once again, I want to sincerely thank everybody that did reach out to check on me. Thank you so much. That just once again proves to me that the HO community is one of values, and we actually care about each other, which is kind of unique with a lot of clubs. It's that are competitive. Even though you may race, there's still an underlying theme of goodwill towards everybody that does the hobby. And that's what I love about this hobby. We all come from different backgrounds. We all have different interests outside of slot cars. But when it comes to slot cars, you sit any of us down and start talking, and we can literally bend each other's ear off just talking about the hobby itself, cars that we've had, races that we were in, stuff that happened, cars that you bought, cars that you sold that you wish you would have never gotten rid of. Right now, the crazy prices because of the economy on cars. I've had several comments on my collection, and I would not be able to do my collection now with the prices the way they are. I started this collection back again 6 years ago, and there is no way, based on what the cost of some of these are going, and that's supply and demand. It's real simple. More people have gotten into the hobby. There's fewer of those older cars made. Price goes up. Real simple. So to find those really good deals on older cars that you may want to add to your collection is getting tougher. I suggest going to hobby trade shows whenever possible. Those I've seen a couple of those online, and those are by far the what I've seen pricing wise far better value per dollar than trying to buy on eBay or some of the other auction sites. So once again, thank you to everybody that did reach out. That did really sincerely mean a lot. It kind of surprised me when those emails and messages started coming in. And I don't know anybody personally other than a few people that have subscribed to the channel. But like I said, this is a channel for everybody. And so if you do have some suggestions, or if you see what I did on any of this stuff, and you have a better idea, please share. Obviously, I've got a lot of work to do once I get it moved to get just back to where I'm at right now as far as assembly. But the good news is a lot of the hard work cutting is done, so it should go a lot quicker, and I should be able to get into the wiring part of it. So please keep the comments coming. I appreciate it. Look for the video tomorrow night. And since I'm not going to be able to light some sparks and melt any plastic, I hope everybody else out there is. Please stay safe, take care. Look for that video tomorrow night. Comment below with any questions, comments. If you want any details, part numbers on anything that you've seen, I'm more than happy to share or assist in any way that I can. So thank you again to everybody that has subscribed. If you haven't already, please below, one last time I'll pitch it, do the LSS, the like, share, subscribe, and let's get the word out on this channel and help grow it a little more. And I'll keep the content coming out at a more accelerated rate, just to try to keep the content fresh and keep some interest on the channel going, so you can share it and go, hey man, you got to check out this guy's channel. So until then, tomorrow night, everybody, check out the Buy Before Evil Bay Tyco, light some sparks and melt some plastic. I'm Scott. Thank you again for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.